Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. Now, the Foundation were cleaning up after the Site-19 breach, where Izuku, he showed off there's a lot more to his abilities than first meets the eye. He murdered a reality bender, and this the O5 Council they saw as being very interesting. Now, Dr. Bright, he tried to talk to them about a lot. 2756, whenever it was killed, the exact time of its death coincides whenever deific entities on the planet Earth turn their attention towards Site-19. Fact is, they believe the threat is neutralized. He also does show concern about Izuku. Deku has a lot of problems, a lot of things that have happened to him. He even brought up a few things. His abilities vary a lot. He even mentioned to them about how Deku had telepathic abilities. And the O5s, they were concerned about this. Right now, they believe Deku could be a security risk, a security breach. If he read their minds during the meeting he had with them, he might know information he shouldn't. The O5s, had Deku really wanted them to be, could have been all murdered when they were sitting in that room with him. They were unaware to the danger, not just the physical presence he might ensue, but the mental. Deku now needs to be evaluated to see if he might have information the O5 don't want him to have. Now, Dr. Bright, he also made a request. He made a request for the Foundation to remove one of his rules and allow a series of tests that will not only benefit Izuku, but may help benefit other anomalies. And this request, it was looked into. If they can keep Deku on their side and even help ease some of this mental, let's just say baggage, then Izuku will have more incentive to help them. He is shown to be highly, begrudgingly resistant to therapy. He doesn't wish to talk about much. However, Dr. Bright can talk to the kid. And knowing Dr. Bright, he'll find a way to make this work. He always seems to have a knack for that. Now then, with that being said, Deku, whenever he was brought back into containment, the Foundation were going to give him a bigger room, along with making sure it was lined with telekill alloy. Now, with that being said, a number of things have happened. It's been a little over a year, more close to a year and a half, and the SCP Foundation, they have had Izuku go through a number of tests. First, they raised security around him and investigated what he might know. That took almost half a year. And then, whenever security became a bit more lax around him because he was shown to not know anything they might deem as confidential, they began to experiment with his abilities, seeing what they can do with them. Deku's already shown an interest in this telekinesis ability he does possess, along with the fact that he can now control colder weathers and turn his body into non-solid materials. So yeah, this does mean a bit. He is learning more about these powers, and the Foundation, they are trying to keep Deku entertained, keep him busy, as they also do begin to run a number of tests. Now, they have even tried to see about using Deku's abilities to transfer the droid's language into the mind of a D-class, and how well this could work for Foundation scientists. They have been able to start translating things, along with some even becoming, and the best way of saying it, experts of the craft. At least, the closest to experts they can be when it comes to this anomalous, strange language. Since some of it, it's still a little iffy for them to understand. Now, we do currently cut to Izuku, who does sit there in his containment cell today, He's a little bored. This room is bigger. The Foundation gave him a computer, a phone. They expanded his streaming services, and they've even given him a console to entertain himself with. He's really not sure. Though, what can he do? Hmm. None of his mind. Currently, him scrolling through and trying to find a movie to watch. Thinking about a few things. I mean, he could cook something. See about that, but what could he cook? Hmm. Should he ask the Foundation for cookbooks, maybe? Or read some of them? Well, he used to read those books, but some of them, they're a bit. He guesses they're okay. Hmm. Try learning a new language. That's a nice way to pass time, right? That's what some people say they could do if they did have the time. Huh. But what would he learn, though? I mean, French would be a good one, right? Is. No, no. It's Latin, and not a lot of people speak that language, if he's correct. God, what did some of those history channels he watched say? There's another one, isn't there? Hmm. Uh, this is not his mind. Currently, Dr. Bright walking directly into the room. Deku, hearing a sound, hit the ground as he's going to turn his head. And he doesn't see Dr. Bright, sitting there in flippers, a swimsuit, a floaty, a pair of goggles covering his face, and a snorkel. Him bringing his hand up and talking about it. He wants to know if Izuku is free for a cross test, because he might actually find this one to be a bit more entertaining. Hmm? Oh, I was trying to find a movie to watch. Uh huh. But wouldn't you rather go to the site pool? You know, I know they allow you to go there, Izuku. I mean, today it's going to be a bit more special. Off-site, well, I'm sorry, personnel not currently clocked into work and live on site, they're doing a few things there. There is a training team down there, but they're going to be out in about 30 minutes. Afterwards, the pool is free all day. And I know a few people are going to be heading down there. Really? Yep. Fact is, the Foundation, they approved what I had recommended. A good way to raise some morale for some other anomalies. Plus, Cthulhu's going to be there. Really? But I thought he was obsessing over his game. No, the Foundation wanted me to get a little bit of exercise. Stretch his feet and get out. You know, they're a little concerned about his diet too, so there's going to be a little bit of changes there. But other than that, I heard Rose is going to be there. Really? Dr. Bright staring at Izuku, watching the way he turns, a little bit more intrigued. And the man, he does express, yup, along with his other friend, Mallow. Fact of the matter is, a few anomalies are going to be there. And he also thinks this could be a good opportunity for them to, well, introduce him to a few others. Some who have formerly been on Alpha 9 and some who might transfer in. Though, has Izuku been informed of anything about 4960? No, not really. Why? They still haven't briefed you on that one? That was the anomaly that wanted to speak to you. I guess they were. No, no. The ethics committee is still probably looking over all that paperwork. Fucking bureaucracy slowing shit down. Uh, Listen. The O5s looked over everything, and I'm sure the ethics committee are still trying to go over some scenarios, but whenever it does get approved, I think. No, no, wait. I might be getting that confused with something else. Right. No, my bad. Sorry. It's just, I'm a little excited. Let's go to the pool. Deku's doing Dr. Bright, who currently does get to somewhat hop up and down. And Deku, he does get to express to Dr. Bright. Currently, the man bringing a hand up and tossing a pair of stone trunks to Deku, telling him they're going to go now. Besides, the sight train, it's going to arrive in about 10 minutes before it does have to loop back around the entire site. And Izuku, he has a turn. Currently, him staring at Dr. Bright as he makes a walk out the door. It closing behind Deku as he does get to stare at that. Him going to get changed. Deku finds that these things do fit pretty well. And there's been a lot happening in the last year and a half. He's made more friends with members of Alpha 9. He's worked well with the team. They've done some training. They've gone out and worked together. And he's even talked a bit more with Rose. Helped the Foundation at least understand her language more. Help them be taught more. I mean, he's taught them as much as he can. They're only having a problem with the writing portion now, and he's pretty sure their computers can take care of that. There's also Mallow, who has been a rather intriguing friend. She's been there to help him. And the Foundation, they have allowed her to continue to somewhat roam a little unchecked, especially since she has been a little cooperative. However, she also has shown a little bit of attention for pranking people, but they believe they might have her under control now. However, they would still like to find a way to properly recontain her, even though she's just a little, what's the right word of saying it? Not insane, unpredictable. And with that, Deku and Dr. Bright, they would head to the sight train. Currently, it going to arrive and begin to have people pull things off the train, as him and Deku do to walk on. And Deku, he does just want to sit there for a minute. Currently, him bringing his phone up and typing a few things in, before he does go to stare at his screen. And Bright does a look up at Deku, who currently is typing on his phone, presumably talking with somebody. And it does have him a bit more intrigued. He's wondering what he's doing. And there's currently Izuku, who is playing a small minigame on his phone. The man staring at the boy, wondering exactly if he's been busy. Maybe he's been cataloging his notes on his phone. Well, he's been trustworthy lately, so the Foundation have no reason to check his phone. No reason to invade his privacy. They probably already have copies of it anyway. It would be a good idea to at least make sure he can maintain it. You know that phone's not waterproof, right? Oh, yeah, sorry. I was just going to leave it with my towel. Uh-huh. Right. You do that. The train going to leave. And Bright, he's tried at least to have a little bit of a small test with Izuku. I wanted to ask him if he's been, well, working on some of his own abilities. And Deku and Bright, they do talk. The man should ask Izuku about some of his own testing. And Deku, he does hear Dr. Bright mention that 187 would like to be crossed with him once again, along with the fact that she was happy to see another person besides just some of the stuff her, well, particular abilities make her see. And Deku doesn't understand. Eventually the train going to pull up as they do to get off. Currently Deku's seeing some Foundation guards who do patrol the area, along with one which is holding a high-powered rifle. And the man will go to turn, seeing Dr. Bright move out. Him staring at that for a second, going to sigh and turn. Them making sure that everybody who gets off the train is supposed to be here. And this, it does mean a number of things. As Dr. Bright and Izuku, they do go through a security checkpoint and then head to the pool. And when they do go to arrive, there currently is a number of people there. Currently, them all waiting before Dr. Bright steps in along with Izuku. And Deku does a look around, seeing a number of people he does recognize, along with a smell in the air. And this is quite intriguing. Currently, somebody expressing. Then I'm going to turn. That, right now, they're going to be here. And Bright does a turn to see the cleft. The man staying there, currently with a few things. Along with the fact that there is a, well, grill next to that man. So, he's fairly certain that's not supposed to be in here. Electric. It's electric. Good for you, man. So, anyways, I'll turn to Izuku, bring his hand up, asking him exactly if he's going to get in the pool first, or, well, is he going to be a little too slow? And currently Deku, he has this one stare at Dr. Bright. Him walking over and setting down his stuff. The man running right past him and leaping into the pool. Currently Izuku looking up and seeing a few people here. Them gonna all leap in, and some dudes don't gonna sit there. Deku turning to a man with mechanical augmentations on his arms, and a tattoo on his head. Him gonna express, bring his hand up, about how he's not going to get in. He's already made that quite clear. And Deku stares at him for a second confused. Currently Kane going to express. He does better on dry land. And Deku doesn't understand. Currently, him turning his head, hearing a voice. Before he does see Rose. Her staying there in a red swimsuit and bring her hands up. Her going to turn, waving Izuku over. And Deku, he has a walk over. Currently, him looking into the pool and seeing some people swimming. There's Cthulhu. There's Cactus Man, who does have his thorns removed. There's two other people there. One of them he's met before. 2241, if he remembers correctly. That kid named Cameron who wants to be a superhero. If he's right, he's gotten the file on that kid. He's a reality bender. He does have strange abilities, though he just doesn't know how far he can push them. Deku turning, seeing 4051, before he does that turn his head again. Currently seeing Iris, who could actually climb out of the pool and turn, making her way up to the high dive. And Deku, he does stare at her for a second. Rose turning her head and going to do one thing, pushing him directly into the pool. And Deku going to fall in. Currently, her going to watch Deku fall and laugh a bit. Him going to resurface and look up, staring at her. Before she does this laugh again. And Deku, he going to throw out his hand. Currently, him bringing his hand out and picking her up. Her throwing her hands out and at least trying to talk about how this isn't cool. Oh, it was funny a second ago. Hey, put me down. Sure. Deku going to release his powers. Her falling into the pool and smashing in. Resurfacing and turning to Izuku. A bit mad. And Deku, he does want to go sit there. Before someone, they do go to swim under the water, bringing their hand up and going to grab Deku. Currently pulling him underneath as Deku, he does a look around. Currently, him going to see somebody with gills on their neck before they do get a turn. Them swing away at some good speed. And Deku also to see somebody else under the water. Currently the outline of a woman. And Deku just stare at them. Before they going to bring their hand up and wave at Izuku. Them going to turn and begin to swim into the water. Deku watching them move. And this is rather intriguing. They're just a floating pile of clothes. That's interesting. Now, when Deku does get to resurface, he does look around. Dr. Bright sitting on his floaty as someone they do go to appear. Currently them bring their hands up onto the floaty, them disappearing with it as Mallow will reappear on dry land. Her holding as Dr. Bright goes a fall directly into the water. Him sitting up as she goes out and let out a bit more of a glitch-like laugh. And Deku, he does turn his head. Currently her running over and smashing into the water. As Dr. Collective is going to turn, staring at what's happening. They needed a responsible adult to supervise this. 347, yeah. If they're not careful, she's going to try and break containment. Everybody's already got thermal, so they should be fine. Okay. So as long as you're responsible adults here, that's good. Though he's technically not on the clock right now. Him bringing his hand up to his lab coat. Him going to pull out a small flask and go to start unscrewing the top of it. And we do currently cut to Izuku, who does go to swim up and leap out of the water. Currently him floating up in the air and looking down, talking about a few things. As currently someone, they get a look up at Deku. Them talking about how, what's he doing? Come on, try and hit me. Them looking up, and Dr. Bright would bring his hand out. Him trying to splash Deku with a whole bunch of water. And currently, while he's trying to smash water at Deku, there is 4051, Friendly Keter, who will gonna bring his hand down towards the bottom of the pool. Him opening a portal and bringing his hand up. Him opening one directly above Deku. And Deku is hit by a torrent of water and smashed into the pool. Currently, somebody seeing that as Deku, he does get to swim back up. Him turning his head as right now, Keter is laughing. And Deku is a bit annoyed. Currently, him bringing his hand up as the kid does sit there in the water. Currently, Deku pulling him up in the air and then going to turn, bringing him up into the high dive. The kid going to float in the air and be taken up higher. And the kid, he has to open a portal. Currently, him going to reappear directly on the ground. And Deku, he'll get a turn. Currently, the kid belly flopping into the pool. And Deku, he has a sort of laugh at that, along with Dr. Bright. And Mallow does get sit there in the floaty. Her with her legs folded over, and currently turning to stare at Deku. And we do currently have Rose, who would go to gather the water since it is honestly a little exhausting. She does also want some actual water, something to drink. And currently she's going to make her way over to a cooler. Her picking up a water bottle and going to sit back down for a minute. Her turning her head and going to... Where's her towel? Sorry about that. Her turning and seeing the floating bikini lady. Her looking a bit more surprised. Before a, well, presumably a hand, holds out the towel, expressing going to sit down. That, she's rather intriguing. Thank you. Currently Rose bring the towel to her head and drying off her hair a bit. You know, I've got some questions though. About? You know, the lizard guy, right? The Monste, or Izuku as... Sorry. Your language is interesting to learn. I can tell. Currently, Iris walking up, talking about it. What are they talking about? Oh, hey. Did you touch my camera? No, I didn't. Why? I'm just asking. Don't mess with my stuff, okay? That thing's very important. Currently, Rose gonna turn. Trying to ask, why is that? And Iris, we're gonna turn. Her snapping a picture before we're gonna turn and face her. Holding it up, talking about it. Right now, this is gonna take time to develop. Though she took one earlier. Her bring her hand up and sting it directly into the photo. Both the two going to watch. And 347, She's highly intrigued. Before going to Someone Express. So she's just been taking pictures of everybody? I mean, Dr. Bright isn't really all that interesting to look at. Although, what about that one? Her gonna turn. Before staring directly at Kane, expressing about how he doesn't want to get in the water. Though the one that's flying, maybe. Definitely interesting. You mean Izuku? Is that his name? Iris gonna turn, talking about it. Last time she saw him, he was a bit different. Though he has been getting taller. Really? Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, unkillable. I've seen him go against some pretty powerful friends of mine. Interesting. You know if he's single? Not sure. Why's that? Just asking. Though I might have an opportunity. Given I can, well, hide my intentions pretty well. Rose turning and asking Iris what she's talking about. To which she would try to explain. What she's talking about is trying to be a little flirty and trying to make a move on him. Why would you do that? Why not? Ooh, you sound a little jealous. Do you like him? He is a friend of mine. Helps me. Saved me. Knows me. I can speak to him in my native tongue. Are you sure? 'Cause I think I might like him for more than just 347. Iris gonna express. Stop talking. I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun. Mallow teleporting behind her. Bring her hand up, and currently gonna teleport her away. And we do currently have a scream, which is gonna emit from the top of the high dive. 347 being dropped directly into the pool. And everyone is at turn. Her smashing into it, as right now she does a resurface. Her screaming at his Mallow does a jump down. And Deku, here's a turn to look up. Mallow smashing into the pool as Rose does a sort stare on. Her looking at Deku as he currently would go to climb out. Him bringing his hands up and going to stretch. Before we're going to turn. Currently him leaping up into the air and going to make a massive cannonball. And this can be heard. And everybody, they do begin to have a little bit more fun. And right now, there currently is Dr. Bright, who, whenever they do try to at least tell everybody about what's happening, they do to get out. And currently, Dr. Cleft, he did prepare some food. Currently, him staying there and staring at one of the anomalies. Since one of them, from what he's heard, have been involved in a cross test that did have some varying results. It was something else. And currently, Dr. Cleft, we're going to turn, grabbing his flask from his lab coat again and going to take another drink from it. And Deku, here's a turn, seeing Dr. Cleft as he does a stand up. Whenever he does do so, we do actually have somebody who does go to turn and bring their hand up. Them to express, up, 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 up. They'd like to ask him some questions. And Deku just gonna stare at the person. Him going to ask what's going on. Them bring their hand out talking about it. They're wondering a few things. And their actually is Iris, who will get a turn. Her going to express. You know, they might actually put her back in containment if she continues doing that. And 347 going to turn her head. Her going to bring her hand up and talk about it. What they don't know won't hurt them. And Deku stares at her a bit confused. Before he does go to bring his own hand up. Her turning and seeing Deku inspecting his hand. Bring it into a fist, holding up his middle finger and thumb. And she just doesn't stare at Deku. Her a little surprised. And Iris does stare at Deku. And 347, she is a little bit more dumbfounded, trying to ask how the hell he saw her hand. And everyone, they do so in turn. Deku trying to express. He can't see her, you know. You can? Her bring her hand up, currently feeling a little bit more embarrassed. And Iris does get a laugh. Currently, 347 gonna turn and move away, since she wasn't expecting this. And it does annoy her slightly. Though, maybe there is a way to get out of here. I mean, he can see her though, so that's a first. Not wearing goggles either. And we do currently have Rose, who does have somewhat turn her head and stare at Deku. As, right now, there is one of the flowers on her head, they do begin to start sprouting again. Currently, it going to somewhat grow as she does go look back down at her plate, her biting into a salad, and then going to turn, staring at the other anomaly. The one with the black fur and that strange skull head. There's something else, though they have been friendly. Maybe they should talk to her? It? And we do currently have Deku, who does go to get thirds and then walk back over. Him sitting down and trying to talk to the guys. Currently, Cthulhu trying his best to somewhat ignore this. Him begrudgingly sitting there and eating some food, as Cactus Man is trying to at least ask if Izuku, he actually, well, got hurt dealing with the reality bender. He heard a few things there, but not much was too clear. I mean, he heard a hallway got lit on fire. Along with that, when they took him back to containment, it was shredded to high hell. I mean, site personnel, it took them almost a month to fix it. You dealt with a what? Long story. I'm sure there's time. The kid gonna turn, bring their hand up as some of the food does a flyover. Currently, them staring at the plate as the salad on it does get turned into a brownie. Them watching me set down in front of them, and they're gonna bring their hand up. Them gonna grab a piece of it. And Deku, he does stare at that, before gonna turn back, expressing. He's fought many things, but that one was certainly new. I mean, it sort of hurt to fight, but he's okay now. Really? Yes, I also did fight this other guy. Abel, I believe his name was. Currently Kane turning his head. Him looking up from the steak he was eating. And there actually is Cactus Man, who turns his head after hearing Kane almost choke on his food. And Deku turns his head, as 1451 does talk about it. He's pretty sure he's heard of that guy. I mean, swords, weapons, you name it. A whole list of things that can go wrong with it. Though he's also hyper-violent. How'd that end? Dr. Bright City responds. What? It's a video game reference. Someone turned to Cthulhu. The guy going to express. It means he always comes back. He can't really stay dead, I guess. So, that kinda sucks. And Kane will go to something butt in, asking Izuku how that fight may have gone. And Deku talks about how no one died but him. And the man doesn't breathe a sigh of relief. Him turning and still gonna crane his neck. As right now Deku turns to Dr. Bright, who currently does not sit there talking with a few other of the doctors. Him turning his head and seeing Dr. Cleft. Currently, him leaning a bit to his right, along with the fact that his face looks a little bit more mellow. And the man, He is staring over at another anomaly, keeping his eyes fixated on them, since security personnel may not be doing their job. This is still a Foundation site. Just because they're not guarding 682 and guarding a fucking pool party doesn't mean something bad could not happen. I mean, something worse might happen. They could have an anomaly break containment, especially one that you can't see. We do actually have Deku, who he was still somewhat chatting away about a few of the things he experienced. And there actually is where Deku, he does return to Cactus Man, at least trying to ask him about his own strange experiences. And he does want to go on. He remembers the time he was actually able to help people before he was brought to containment custody. I mean, before he was contained, it's just, it was good. He could be an actual hero, help people out. That's the whole thing. And there currently is even 4051 who tries to talk about it. I mean, the Foundation have been allowing him to do a few things. It's just, well, kind of classified. He doesn't want to say it's a whole thing, but it might be a whole thing. And Deku does a turn. Currently them looking at 2241. And Cameron, he does try to talk about a few above that. He does try to talk a bit about a few of his own abilities. And there currently is Deku, who does this one slightly turn away, him looking over towards Rose and the other girls. And he feels a little concerned. Confused? Not really. Dr. Bright's told him about this stuff. He asked about romance, and he decided to upload romance movies into his viewing streams. No, wait. No, not viewing streams. That's not the right word. His TV? No, not that either. Something. Earth to Izuku. Deku turning his head. Dr. Bright sitting right next to him. Him going to, so hit him in the arm, asking him exactly what he might be staring at. Nothing. Just thinking about a few things. Why? Now, come on. If you want to admit that you have a little bit of crust, kid, go ahead and admit it. It sounds a little stupid. Don't know, kid. You might start to like some girls when you get older. Then again, not sure how that might work out for you. Sure. Although that one weird wolf lady, she can teleport, right? Yeah. What about it? Nothing. It's just, I wonder if I could do that. You never know until you try. The kid understanding. Him trying to think of a location. And currently, he doesn't disappear. And Deku goes to somewhat turn looking at that. Before Dr. Bright will go express, turning back to Izuku. Right. So, he's going to ask him this. Exactly how does he feel? I guess okay. Why? Come on, kid. It's just a question. I mean, the Foundation does want me to look after you, and I do want the best for you, so I'm just trying to be a bit more aware, be a bit helpful. Why? You're not my dad. And everyone, they just want to look at Deku. Dr. Bright staring at him a little bit more surprised. Uh-huh. Listen, Zuku. Him bring his hand up. The Foundation, they did tell me I can tell you some details as to, family. You guys found my mom? No. The the research or any information about that is classified to me. I'm just telling you what I'm been told. As far as I'm aware, there's no leads currently. Dr. Bright lying to Izuku. And this, it does somewhat dishearten Izuku. He's given the Foundation information that he can about his mother, about his own creation. It wasn't much, but they should still be searching, still be doing something. And Dr. Bright, he would go to Express. The Foundation, they're going to, well, technically he does have clearance to say this here, so whoever just so happens to overhear now knows this information. Fact of the matter is, 682, his paternal father, he wasn't always around. The Foundation, they were there whenever he was first discovered. In fact, he was one of the anomalies they know of that were born from a human mother. What? Yeah. Fact is, Izuku, you're not the only anomaly who was born in strange ways. Though as far as what we can tell, information doesn't even say if you were born or not. The Foundation has found evidence showing genetic tampering, so engineering more likely. But along with that, the DNA is consistent. And, well, I guess I really should be telling you the whole story. It starts with the Scarlet King, okay? He's a very powerful entity. One of the seven brides gave birth to 682. That would be your grandfather. An powerful, ancient evil who wants to destroy reality. Are you trying to make me feel better? Because you're sort of not. No, I'm trying to tell you you have an uncle. I. Huh? What? Exactly. If you let me finish. Izuku, you do have family. Fact is, your uncle is SCP-999. You're joking with me. Dr. Bright? Him turning his head. And Deku does think for a second. Oh. Oh, shit. Hmm. You need a second? I think so. Him has not turned, standing up and going to walk away. And currently Deku, he has a walk out of the room. Currently, him heading back into the locker room and trying to focus on something. Trying to just gain his bearing. One of the Scarlet King. The Scarlet King? That's his grandfather? That makes no sense. He doesn't know who that is. 999 is family. That's certainly something. Does 682 know? But wait, that means he has more anomalous family members. Okay. So he's gonna need to ask Dr. Bright if there's more. See what's going on there. Find out more? Yeah, that's definitely worth investigating. Deku does not stand. Him going to turn his head after hearing something. And currently, there actually is 347, who does go to try and sneak her way through the locker room. Though Deku, he heard her footsteps. And currently, he has actually turned, walking and looking around, before seeing her outline as he turns his head to fully face her. Her going to turn to fully face Izuku and going to get ready. Deku going to just bring his tail up as is elongate out of his back. It's currently going to split into two, and she will get a stare at that. Her going to back up again. Before one of the tails do a shoot out and quickly wrap around her. them pulling her up into the air as she would bring her hands up, her smashing on the tail and trying to break free. And Deku does get to ask her, exactly what is she doing? Let go of me. I want to get out of here. Why? I don't want to be here, alright? Is that so much to ask? Now let me go. Just, ah. Her trying to fight the tail. And Deku, he does get to walk back out with her. Currently, everybody's seeing Deku's tail floating up in the air as Dr. Cleft does get to turn his head. Seeing that 347, she didn't just jump into the pool. She actively abandoned her gear. And the man, he does a walk over. Him at least going to tell Izuku about what to do. And the guards, after they do go to apprehend her and get her properly restrained, and handcuffs and some grease paint, they do get to take her away. Since right now, she did just violate a little bit of the trust the Foundation did put into her. And Deku, he does stand there. As we do currently have Rose. Rose does sit there. Currently, her going to do one thing. She goes to bring her hand up. Her grabbing one of the flowers that are protruding from the side of her head. Her saying something under her breath as it does being a bloom. Her going to pull it away as she does this somewhat comb her hair. It being plucked out effortlessly and with no pain. And Rose will get a turn. Her looking at the flower and staring at it. Before going to bring it up to her chest. Her whispering something. And this, it is rather intriguing. Currently, her going to have the flower emit a small glow, before it has been to break apart into a brilliant green light. It letting out a slow burned emission, before it is to vanish in her hand. And Rose does go look up, wondering. That should do something. Maybe talk to Gaia again? 166? They are supposed to see each other again. Talk? Right. Could be a good idea. Though, could it also have been the wrong thing to do? She hasn't been home in a while. If there is anybody left, then they're gone. Or, well, maybe they're back home. She remembers meeting people from the next village over, and how their lives were. Similar. Nice. She's heard strange tales. Many things that her people have spoken of. Myths and legends. Even some of people. And it does make her concerned. What will that do? Will that let someone else hopefully know that she's alive? Or was that pointless? And Rose doesn't sit there. Currently, her with a strange thought going through her mind. Along with the fact that she does look a little bit sad. Now, the Foundation, they do want to bring this cross test to an end, since the personnel basically had an on-site barbecue and they had a bit of a party. So the anomalies do get taken back to containment. And Deku, he currently is in the shower. He's got a few things crossing his mind. It's weird. Rose is his friend. Mallow is his friend. Him and Iris do get along a little bit, but she doesn't like his attitude, his straightforward way, he guesses. Is that how that one guy in the movie put it? He just runs in guns blazing and she tries to make a plan. Sure. Though, can you blame him? If it can work for a reality bender, it should work on some guy, right? Maybe he's getting this all wrong. Not thinking properly? Thinking clearly? Okay, okay. Maybe he just needs to nap. Think about this a bit more. He's still not too sure on romance. How those emotions work. New? No, no. They're the opposite of hate, aren't they? Love? Love. That's the word, right? Not like. Liking something is like liking food. Or, well, that's a bit broader. You have a favorite. That much is obvious. That much is true. Everyone has a favorite food, a favorite drink, and then there's people. He doesn't know too much about that. He prefers people he knows. He likes people he knows. But then there's that one emotion. The one where he wants to care for them, make sure they're safe, know they're happy. He wants to know that they're going to be around. And it does cross Dicker's mind. Currently, him having a flash of that sequoia tree, thinking about it more. He's just gonna maybe lay down, have a bit of a nap. And Deku, he is gonna walk out of his room. Or he is gonna walk out and into his room. Currently, him going to get changed, as right now, he does this somewhat dry off his hair. Him just going to sit on his bed and think. Maybe put on some music. I mean, he's got a few bands here, but what could he play? Currently, Deku having the thought cross his mind. He can think of some of the older bands. I mean, there have been suggestions. He's got a few things in this playlist. I mean, nah, that one's a bit. No, no. This one looks good, but maybe Dr. Bright walking into the containment cell. Currently, him with a bit of a smile on his face, since he did get approval from the O5s and the Ethics Committee to finally perform the current test. Now, Dr. Bright, he does have a bit of a smile on his face. Currently, him holding up a plate and going to express to Zuko that he needs to come here. They are going to have a bit of a movie marathon. Hmm? What? What's that? Deku walking into the next room, asking Dr. Bright what he brought. Because those don't smell like brownies. Here, him gonna actually bring his hand and grab one of the brownies, turning and holding it up, telling Izuku. He made these a little bite-sized. I mean, they're gonna have to be bite-sized. He's gonna want to take one, and then give it about 20, 25 minutes. He's gonna put on a movie. Right now, though, be careful. Snacks are already on their way. He made sure of that. And currently Deku does get a turn. Him walking over as Dr. Bright was to walk away from the plate of special brownies. And Deku does go to grab one of them. Him holding them up and seeing how small they are. I mean, he can hold this with two of his fingers. Him taking a bite. And currently, he does find them to be a little, frosting tastes good. I'm going to grab two more. Currently, him going to actually walk into the next room and go to stuff these two in his mouth. And Dr. Bright does get see Deku chewing. Before asking, so what makes these brownies so special? They're very small. Wait. Oh, no, no, no. I forgot something. Oh, don't eat more than one. Why? Are they anomalous? Am I gonna die? Am I gonna explode? Oh, it doesn't sound fun. No, no, you're not gonna come down with the case of the detonations, but you are going to. chill out. Let's see. Wait. Currently, Dr. Bright gonna sit there, holding the remote and trying to think about something. Though his mind currently is out. And Deku, he has to walk over. Him looking up and trying to think about something. Though he just won't sit there. Currently, him going to grab the remote from Dr. Bright as the man is trying to tell him about what to do. And we do get to Deku about 10 minutes later. Currently, him somewhat sunken into the couch. And he's just staring at the screen. As Dr. Bright does sit there with his feet put up on the table. And they do come to walk into the room. Because right now, they were supposed to be here. And they need to make sure to catalog everything they can about this. See how well he might respond to 420J. Now, with that being said, I do believe that is a good point to leave this off of. And I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next one.